Hello, traders, and welcome to another episode of The Trading Edge. Today, the format is a bit different. My name is Sihle, and I'm going to be the guest ghost on this podcast. And we're going to be answering a few questions that some of our viewers have been sending to us via the chats on YouTube and other platforms. And we've invited two guests who are Exness traders, who are professional traders, who are going to answer these questions, because from previous episodes, these questions have been directly directed to them. So we're going to go through some of the questions that either Chris or Dwayne will answer for the benefit of our viewers. So guys, how are you doing?
Sitle, thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, doing well. Excited to hear what the viewers want to hear.
Good one, man. So the first question we have is actually for you, Dwayne. It's from one of our viewers down in Durban. I don't know why you're so popular in Durban, but the question is to Dwayne, what trading style do you follow? Is it scalping, day trading, swing trading, long-term investing, and why?
So, Sitle, what I do in my trading, I like to trade intraday. So I wouldn't classify myself as a scalper. I've been down that road, and I think that's more gambling than trading. It's very inconsistent. So I do intraday trading. I would hold trades anything between an hour to 4 hours at most. I don't classify myself as a swing trader. But with my profits from my trading, I do diversify long term for more steady, slow growth and let those accounts grow. So I would say a bit of intraday and then long term investment.
Ah, interesting. The next question is for you, Chris, all the way from a viewer in Pietermaritzburg, right? So the viewer wants to know, I have been following a lot of your content on social media, and you have been with Exness for a very long time. What is it that has made you stick with Exness all these years?
That's a good question. No, I think personally, no one can beat Exness when it comes to all-around performance, withdrawals, deposits, trading conditions, trading platforms. But I think by far the biggest is the personal relationships that you build at Exness. You'll see when you start trading and stuff like that, you go to the Exness events, the seminars, the people are amazing, always willing to go the extra mile to help assist. And thankfully for us, they've become really close friends for us.
Ah, interesting. Thank you for that, Chris. And back to you, Dwayne. This one is from a viewer who is not so far from here in Johannesburg. Dwayne, what indicators, tools, or software do you rely on the most in your daily trading?
That's actually it's a good question because there's such a wide variety of different tools and indicators and stuff available there. And I think well, for myself, speaking from my experience, when I just started, you kind of lose yourself in all these indicators, and each guy has a different opinion on what indicator to use and how they use them. And I've actually found that I derail my trading when I focus on indicators because number one, they lagging, and I believe they're not that accurate. And to kind of understand the full m- margin of how they operate and how they work, it's not beneficial for me. So to get back to you on that, I don't use any indicators when I trade. I purely focus on current price action and order flow.
Ah, okay. And the next question, it seems like another one for you, Dwayne, from a viewer in Harare, in Zimbabwe. How do you handle drawdowns and recover from losses?
Yeah, I think this is super easy to answer, and that comes down to risk management. Uh, Not trading with the hope that the trade will turn around, having a set stop loss, and if price breaches your stop loss, you're out of the trade. I see a lot of guys, they trade themselves backwards by moving their stop loss, breaking the rules and actually just putting themselves more in a negative position, Don't trade with hope. Have good risk management, risk 1 to 2, 3%, whatever your risk appetite is per trade. And your stop loss is your stop loss. There's a reason a stop loss is there. It's to protect your capital, number one. And number two, to show you that you're actually in the wrong side of the market.
Oh, nice one. For you, Chris, all the way from Port Elizabeth, how do you deal with the pressure of trading large amounts of money, if that's relevant?
I was about to say define large. I think anything that's substantial and respectable to you as an individual, you respect the amount. So with that respect and with that risk, there comes a lot of responsibility. So just basically what Dwayne said, you have a plan, you have a risk management plan. If those things are in place, it's pretty easy to trade any amount of money. Whether you give me an account with $1,000 now, or you give me an account with $10 million or even $100 million, I would take the same approach. But the only thing that would be different is the risk that I take on those accounts. So I think it's pretty easy. It's just focus on risk management, and you can tweak the risk no matter what account type you trade.
Okay. And it seems like we've got another one for Chris, and this time from a viewer in Botswana. What's the biggest trading mistake you've made, and what did you learn from it?
Sure. I've made so many. I think like important life lessons is always being humble. Don't think you're bigger than the market. Don't ever think you the best thing since sliced bread. The markets will humble you. Stay humble, stay level-headed. Don't get ahead of yourself. And you literally have to be so objective and do the same thing every day, in and out. No matter what you're doing, where you are, what's going on around you, your trading has to stay the same. So, yeah.
Thank you, Chris. The next question is for Dwayne from a viewer in Pretoria East. How do you maintain discipline and avoid emotional trading?
There's actually so much to this question. I think each and every person is going to be different, because I believe we all classify discipline and emotions differently, and you kind of work with it differently. But what I would say is, and I've always said that I probably sound like I always repeat the same things, but you need to create a plan and you need to be strict on yourself. And the only way you can build discipline is by creating small little habits every day and just not deviating from your plan. You know where you want to go, you know what you want to achieve, and just stick to that. Doesn't matter how long it takes or how demotivated you get. You know you have to put in X to get Y, and doesn't matter how long it takes. Just do that consistently over time, and you'll start creating this habit that's second nature.
Thank you, Dwayne. Back to you, Chris, from a viewer in Polokwane. What are the key factors you consider before taking a trade?
So personally, it's going to sound like it's very, very underrated stuff, but trading in line with the trend, it sounds like it's so basic, but it's so important. I'd say that a lot of the experienced traders that I've worked with, often the mistakes that they make, they get so lost on lower time frames, they lose perspective of simple things like a trend, right? So to briefly answer the question, I look at trading with the trend in line with the current momentum, order flow. I like to trade with the current market structure. So if it's bullish market structure, I want to be buying. If it's bearish, I want to be selling. So I look at key structural points like that. I personally trade supply and demand. I have my own twist on how I enter the trades and manage them. But those are the key things that I look at. I look at the trend. Where are we going? What type of market conditions are we dealing with? What are the structures that's being presented to me? Can I work with those structures? Where would I like to buy and sell from, i.e., supply and demand areas? And then I take it from there.
Thank you, Chris. Next question for Dwayne from a viewer in Richards Bay. If you could go back in time and give your beginner self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Yo, it's a very deep question, this. But I think if I had to go back and give myself one bit of advice to kind of fast track everything or the struggles that I went through, is kind of to not be so subjective to what people make this industry out to be. Don't trust the wrong people, and do better due diligence. And yeah, don't trust too quickly, I would say.
Okay, last one. Back to your quiz from a viewer in Newcastle. Newcastle, I think that's in KZN.
Yes.
Chris, what's your take on algorithmic trading and AI in today's markets?
Well, I personally believe it's the future. I mean, everything that's out there is getting automated. You'll see Tesla start making electric cars, robots. Everything is moving towards that direction. I mean, even when you look at banks and hedge funds, there's a lot of automated algorithmic trading. Because strategies are meant to be as simple as these are your requirements, this is how you manage the trade, and if possible, you can add discretion or not, and that's what algorithmic trading allows. So, excuse me. So I have a very positive outlook on algorithmic trading. I believe it is the future. I believe it's very effective. But in order to understand the systems that you build, you need to understand what you're doing and have systems yourself that you can follow and have tested in time. For example, to run testing on algorithmic softwares, you can run years and years and years worth of testing on tick data that you can download off of Exness's website, and you can test it within a couple of hours, sometimes even minutes. Whereas to back test manually can take long. So I think there's pros and cons to both. But I definitely have a very positive outlook and opinion on both of them.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. And back to you, Dwayne. This is from a viewer in Windhoek in Namibia. How has your trading strategy evolved over the years?
Yeah, I think it's an ever evolving industry that we're in. You always have to adapt and learn. But when I just started, I really overcomplicated trading for myself. And you kind of want to look at all these different scenarios and different strategies and different indicators, like on my previous question that I answered. So I think the better you understand the market and the more simplified ways you look at the market, the better it gets every single day. So I would say I don't overcomplicate things like I used to, and I keep it simple. And yeah, that's where you find your edge.
And then back to you, Chris. This is from a viewer, Stellenbosch in the Western Cape. What are some of the factors to consider when choosing a broker to trade with?
Yeah, that's a very important question. I often also feel, like Dwayne said earlier, not enough people do enough due diligence, and check products out for themselves. They just go based on recommendations. But the important factors to consider is stuff like a broker's liquidity. How big are they? How big are their trading volumes? How many clients do they have? Because obviously, the bigger their liquidity, the bigger their client base, um, the the more sustainable they are as a company. Because at the end of the day, a broker is a business. So you want the broker to be successful. You want them to have many clients. Because if you are successful as a trader, that means you will have no issues when you requesting withdrawals. Really good deposit and onboarding processes. All sorts of stuff like this. It's and probably the biggest one is the right trading conditions for what you want to trade. How much are you paying to take a trade? Is it the best price you're getting in the market? Right? When you guys go and buy a TV or whatever the case is, you go look at all the shops to see where you can get it the cheapest. But when you trade, you won't even know that you're trading at the most expensive place. And that's just like, in my opinion, there's so many factors to consider, and that's why early on in my questions I said Exness is an amazing broker. They are the best, well-rounded broker, in my opinion, when it comes to everything, not a single aspect. Like, a lot of people try to be the best at something small, but Exness is very well-rounded in all aspects.
Thank you, guys. That's all the time we have for the questions for this week. And thank you to all our viewers for sending in the questions. And if you want to learn more about Exness and the account types and the products it offers, you can visit exness.com. And if you want to follow what we do, you can follow us on Instagram, Exness Africa. You can follow us on TikTok, on Twitter, and obviously like and subscribe to this channel to receive alerts on future episodes. Until next time, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Dwayne. And cheers for now.
Cheers.